Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening, our division director, our program quality director here with us. Good evening, Mr. Moderator, and good evening, our dear double DTM, who is going to be our facilitator for today's education series. I welcome you all, today being the 1st of August, 2026. We are going to commence our educational series for this particular mandate. And as we're all aware, the notice had been sent out since last week that the meeting is going to commence by 8:30 and end by 9:30. So without further ado, I wouldn't be the one that will be handling or moderating the session. But before I call on the moderator, I would call on someone special whose efforts and hard work made us to be here today. If you are just joining us, my name is Buhari Toastmaster Buhari Abdulhamid Zayad, DTM, and I welcome you to this education webinar. Without further ado, I would like to go straight to invite our humble program quality director, who is going to give us his opening remarks, being that this is the first educational series and session that we'll be having for today's mandate, for him to give his opening remarks before I go ahead to introduce the moderator for today's session. So ladies and gentlemen, with a virtual round of applause, a thunderous one for that matter, let's invite our program quality director, Toastmaster Salim Idatu, DTM. Over to you, Mr. PQD.
Thank you very much, my DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Buhari, for that very warm and remarkable introduction. Good evening, dear Toastmasters. Thank you very much for joining this our maiden educational series. It gives me great pleasure and delight to welcome you to this very fun, exciting, and important training session that we're going to be having this evening. And it will interest you to know that we've sourced one of the very best facilitators we have in our entire district to commence this very interesting training session. And we're going to be coming up with interesting topics that will add value and impact to our Toastmasters journey. So it's not just going to be any kind of training. We're going to be checking the pain points that people really need to elevate their Toastmasters journey to ensure that they're able to add value to their Toastmasters journey and take it out of the Toastmasters fair as we like it to be. So I invite everybody to pay particular attention. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be very interactive because I know the level of facilitators we're having this evening. So on that note, I want to say thank you very much, and I wish you a very interesting training session. Thank you, and back to you, our training director, Distinguished Toastmaster Buhari Zayed.
Thank you so much, Mr. PQD, for this wonderful opening remark. I have sensed that it's going to be a very productive and transformative year for us under your leadership for this program quality director of this mandate. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to do so. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is the first education series for Division G in this mandate. And we just had our program quality director give us his opening remarks and what we should be expecting during the course of the year. Thank you, sir. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would be inviting our moderator today for today's session, who will take us through what to expect, even though we've seen the flyers of what the topic is. But I'm going to hand over to him to continue with today's proceedings. He would be reading out the agenda and how the presentation is going to take place. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular Toastmaster is someone that I've seen life, working hard to improve himself with the selfless actions that he has been putting since he joined Toastmasters. He is that member that I hold with very high esteem seriously, because there is no Toastmasters event where you wouldn't see him taking part in exemplary leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator for today's session is none other than Toastmaster Jibril Yusuf. Toastmaster Jibril, please, you have the virtual lectern, and over to you for this wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my leader, distinguished Toastmaster Buhari Zayat, for that warm and wonderful welcome. Good evening to my fellow Toastmasters, distinguished leaders. I am so excited this evening to moderate this session. I believe we are all happy, aren't we, to be in this particular session, the first session of the mandate year. And this is an educational series that the Directorate designed to ensure that we really grow through value, as our mandate is. So without wasting much of our time today, I will not be handling this alone, just like the PQD and my leader, Buhari Zayat, said. We are having an exceptional leader, someone who is at the top of leadership to carry us through this session. In my research, there are few distinguished Toastmasters in the community of Toastmasters. They represent the 1%. And this leader we have today saw that one is not enough for him. He decided to have it double. We call him double DTM. So I will be reading the bio of our leader as I introduce him. My apologies. My apologies, please. I will be reading the bio of our leader as I introduce him. Distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai Muhammad has been a Toastmaster since 2019 and has served in various leadership capacities, from the club to the area to the division and even the district. He is passionate about communication, leadership development, and helping individuals unlock potentials through Toastmasters' journey. He believes that active communication is the foundation of influence, leadership, and personal growth. His favorite quote is, "When you want something, all the universe conspire in helping you to achieve it." When we strive to become better, we are, everything around us becomes better too. So dear leaders, with a virtual applause, let us welcome our leader, distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai Muhammad. All right, before my leader takes on the mic, I will swiftly read through the agenda for us to understand what we are doing in the next 1 hour. 10 minutes is gone already. After the opening remark by the PQD, the introduction of the moderator, introduction of the speaker, which I just did, our leader, then the presentation proper. We'll have 30 minutes for this session, then question and answer, closing remark by the chair, and then we close the meeting. So please, I would like to indulge us to pay close attention to this session. You have questions to ask after the session. During the question and answer segment, kindly note down your questions for you to throw them at the speaker. Thank you very much. My leader, you have the virtual lectern.
All right, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Can I confirm that I'm audible and you can see my picture?
Yes, sir, we can
You
see you.
are,
You are
and
very
we can
audible.
see you.
Okay, I'll share my slide now. Okay, can you see the slide?
Yes, we can.
All
DTM.
right. All right, thank you very much, and good evening once again. Today we're going to be speaking about the importance of timing. One of the things that has always distinguished us as Toastmasters, one of the things that personally made me to join Toastmasters was about our timings. And I'm a member of different professional institutes, but there was something special about Toastmasters when it comes to timing and the way that our meeting went along. However, recently we have found out that some of the meetings are not going the way that they're supposed to. Now, there's something about Toastmasters. We have to ensure that we maintain that system because it's a system that is built like everywhere you go, you get the same experience. And that is what distinguishes us. So that is the reason we're having this presentation today. And I decided to take it because timing is something that is near and dear to my heart. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm very strict with timing. So we have to take this. I'll try and explain so many things so that we make sure that our meetings are on time. Now, what we're going to cover today, we're going to see why timing matters, the timers toolkit, agreed timing, handling a featured speech, practical tips, education planning, and some key takeaways. So I'll be spending around 30 minutes as they give me, and I'll be sharing some documents that we have been using in the past. Now, can someone turn on his mic and tell me what is the timing for a Toastmasters? Oh, hush, I've already put the 2 hours here. Okay, so no problem. We'll go to the next slide. Now, why does timing matter in Toastmasters International? Timing is not about being bureaucratic. It's something that we have to have in order to be Toastmasters, to be those special Toastmasters, and it helps our meeting to be fair and effective. Now, let me ask, how many of us plan our day minute by minute, hour by hour? Let me see your thumbs up. Minute by minute, hour by hour. Or someone can turn on his mic and tell me, if you plan your day and the day doesn't go well, you go to a meeting, you're supposed to spend 2 hours and you spend 4 hours. How would you feel? Someone should turn on his mic and speak. How would you feel?
Disappointed.
Disappointed. Another word? Someone else?
Frustrated.
Frustrated, exactly. Because nowadays we're so busy. And the moment something crosses another time, you're affecting the next agenda or the next meeting that you have. So as Toastmasters, it's that thing that keeps us special. I remember in so many places that we go, once they see us, they say they are Toastmasters, they're professional. But nowadays, our meetings, it's like becoming ceremonial, which it should not be like that. We have a standard and we must be able to keep standard. And one of the things is that it gives us fairness. Whenever we go to events outside Toastmasters, you'll see that the people who are slated to speak at the end, they always never speak, or they are rushed to speak, or their time are reduced. These are people who have invested their time in preparing their slides and doing everything, yet they will not be given the opportunity to present. So it's fair on all of us to make sure that we allow people their time. If the evaluator is supposed to evaluate someone for 3 minutes, let's give him his 3 minutes. And it has been done and we can do it. Before, the meetings were going hand in hand. You just see them moving. But nowadays, we are seeing some, I'm not saying all meetings, but we are seeing some pockets of inefficiencies. And we must make sure that we change it. Then timing is a real skill. Once you learn the art of timing in Toastmasters, it affects your life everywhere. In fact, in most of the meetings in my office, I'm always being given the role of the timer because they know I'm strict with time. And believe you me, the place that I learned timing is Toastmasters. So let's try and pay attention. Let's make sure that we pay attention to time. Then we respect everyone's time. We make sure that because timing is something that is very special, we have invited guests, we have Toastmasters. I have seen so many speakers, they have to leave because they have other engagements. You have to send their evaluations to them via WhatsApp or mail, just because they came in and the meeting was not supposed to go the way that it was supposed to go. So that's why timing is also important. Then the awards. Nowadays, we don't even have time to give the award for the best speaker, the best evaluator, because we are spending over 3 hours. And the approved timing for us in Toastmasters is 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours. That's the approved timing rate. So anything we're doing beyond those 2 hours, it's not supposed to be so. It's 1 to 2 hours, and we must stick with that. Now, when timing slips, these are some of the effects that it gets. You know, table topics or evaluations, they get rushed. And table topics, every segment of the Toastmasters program is very important. It has a reason why it's there. And once we rush those parts, then we're taking some of the skills that we need to learn, some of the core competencies. In Toastmasters, we have over 5,000 competencies that we learn. And some of these are embedded in most of the things that we do. So every single thing, every activity that you see in Toastmasters is very important. So we must make sure that when timing slips, you'll see that some of the activities, they get rushed. Awards, we don't do them. Then guests leave. Sometimes I have seen guests leave because we said this meeting is from so time to so time. And they schedule their activities, they come, we don't start. So immediately it's time that we first agreed we're going to finish like 4 o'clock. Immediately it's 4, they leave because there are a lot of people that respect time. Then the next role player is shortchanged. The last role players, especially the evaluations, that is one of the most critical and important parts of our meeting. They get rushed because especially when it's in the evening and when we are having our meeting in rented places, because those kind of people, you pay them by the hour. They will be rushing. Sometimes they will be switching off gen on you. So we have to make sure that we deliver that meeting on time. We come on time, we finish on time. Now, based on the handbook of the Toastmasters International, I removed these 3 things, which are very important to timing. And we are supposed to know these things as members, as officers, that we must know our agenda. We must make sure we review our agenda to make sure that every activity is within those 2 hours. I've seen a lot of agendas, and even though the activity is 2 hours, but that those activities are not going to be within 2 hours. So we must make sure that we know our agenda inside and out. We must use the signal and respect the signal. There are some of our speakers that when they're speaking, they don't respect time. You will see the poor timer will be raising up his card, red card, and someone will still go and be speaking. And if you disqualify those kind of people, someone will be annoyed. So we must try as much as possible to use and respect that signal. Then we must run the clock. We must understand how the clock works, especially when it comes to timing of contest, because a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm within that minute, but there's a rule for everything that we have in Toastmasters. For example, in contest, immediately you say the first word, your timing starts counting. So when we're practicing, it doesn't mean maybe it's after a call or before you say good morning that your timing starts. Immediately you say a word, your timing starts. Then, okay, so from the handbook, I removed some of the timings that we have. And this is the most important part of this presentation. We must try to understand it. For table topics, for everything, these ones, we know them. But what I want us to pay attention is this. Now, this is the segment. This is supposed to be an agenda of a 2-hour meeting. We have the call to order that the SAA does and the reading of our core values. Okay, don't core values. What is it called again? Toastmasters Promise. Yes, our Toastmasters Promise. We have 5 minutes intro by the president who hands over to the Toastmaster of the day. So the 2 of you are supposed to share the time. The Toastmaster of the day and The president are supposed to share their 5 minutes. Then we have the general evaluator, introduction of role players. We have that if we are having 5 to 7 minutes speech, plus the 1 minute evaluation, we're spending 30 minutes for prepared speeching, 60 minutes for table topics, 29 minutes for evaluation and reports, and 5 minutes for closing, and of course, the networking for the guests. So this is supposed to be the way that the Toastmasters meeting is there, 2 hours. It's 1 to 2 hours that is approved, not the way that we like it. And if we follow this agenda religiously, we're not going to be having problems with that. So this is how it's arranged, the transition and everything. I decided to put time for you so that you see from 11 to 11:05 and the rest. So we must make sure that we follow this agenda. Now, what if you're going to add some other activities? For example, we have induction of new members. We have, what other things do we have? Like, I know of induction of new members and some other things that might come in. So when you have those kind of things, then you have to reduce the timing from your prepared speeches or from the table topics, or you drop one of them. You drop one of them because you need to have that time. Induction of new members is very important. Sometimes we have book reviews and the rest. You can't have all of these activities within the same meeting and think that your meeting is going to go right. No, it's not going to go. Then this is the evaluation session breakdown. We know for 4 speeches that we have in our normal meeting, you have 3 minutes each. General feedback 1 minute. Sometimes we have general we have the general evaluator, we have the timers report, our counters report, and grammarians report. So these are the allocation for the evaluation segment. Now, what if you have a speech that is 15 minutes in nature? What if you have a speech? Because there are some speeches like they are not the normal speeches that we have. They are longer than the speeches. Sorry, I'm seeing a message. I hope it's not to me. Okay, so someone is asking about the longer speeches. So this is it. So you have to reduce your table topics. If you have a 15-minute speech, then you have to reduce your table topics. You cannot put 2 long speeches at the same time and still have your 3-minute speech. I know a lot of vice president educations, they are pressed because they have to meet with their goals. And there's something about Toastmasters. You always see that sometimes when you're asking people to speak, someone will call you, just 2 hours to the meeting, I can't come. And in the end, by the 6 months, you'll see that you are nowhere near where you're supposed to be with your goals. I know it's very difficult, but we have done it before. I remember back in those days, 6 months, you'll see some of the clubs. It was like, we're just moving. 6 months, you'll see that these clubs have already fulfilled their goals obligation for education. We can still do it, but there has to be a lot of perseverance. There has to be a lot of patience and follow up with the speakers. I know sometimes even the speakers, the way that they speak back at you, they have paid the money. And I once called someone to give a speech. He has not given a speech. My own concern was that he was supposed to renew his due and he has not spoken once. So I had to push him. He was saying, is it not my money? I've already paid this money now. I said, but you have not spoken and the other due is coming. I'll pay the next, you just leave me when I'm ready and speak. But one thing about public speaking I have learned over the years is that sometimes there are people that you just have to push them. You have to force them to speak. And once they take that first step, then that is it. So we need to make sure that we count these minutes to make sure that they're within 2 hours. If there's any extra activity, then we must remove a segment between the table topics or the featured speech. We must make sure that we remove it, but 2 hours is 2 hours. So this is the agenda with the 15 minutes also. I'll send you the slides so that you can use it. Now, tips for staying on time. There are a lot of practical tips, but this one I'll leave it till the end. I'll go, you know, there are some important individuals in every meeting. And according to the Toastmasters Handbook of Meetings, the two most important people, everyone is important, but the two most important people are the Toastmaster of the day. Now, this is our dear DTM Ashieta Badmos. You know, she's so good and she wants to speak. This is her speech on explaining the theme of the day. You can imagine she has 3 minutes and she has already spoken for 11 minutes. And you know, for TMOD, there is no timer. There is no timer. So I believe, as one of the recommendations I have, we must also time the Toastmaster of the day, because some of the times you'll see someone coming in with full scarves to explain the theme and everything. The spotlight doesn't belong to you. It's just like you're the pilot of an aeroplane. You see that they're in the cockpit, they are closed, you don't even have access to them. But the main players are the speakers and the rest of the role players, so allow them to shout. You just introduce the theme, just something like that. Now, for example, we normally speak at a rate of 150 words per minute. And you know you have three minutes or so, because within that 3 minutes, you're also supposed to introduce the general evaluator after you start the meeting. So for a Toastmaster of the day, when you're preparing your introduction to the theme and the day, you're not supposed to pass 300 words. 300 words is enough because we speak at the rate of 150 words per minute. So 2 minutes for your introduction of the theme and 1 minute for the introduction of the general evaluator so that he can introduce his wordplay. So please, let's take cognizance of these kind of things. You know, you have to keep the transition brief. You have to introduce only what's needed. There are some things that honestly we don't need them in the meeting. The Toastmaster of the day, you're supposed to steer that meeting. So whenever you're preparing as a Toastmaster of the day, know that you have 3 minutes. And in that 3 minutes, you speak at a rate of 150 words. So that means when you're preparing something that's very, even if you're writing it on a sheet of paper, just take a picture and upload it, ask ChatGPT how many words are here. It will give you the word count, or you can copy and paste on Word document. At the tail end, it will tell you how many words you have on that document, and that will assist. You also have to watch the clock, although Toastmasters of the day, normally they are not being timed, but I would recommend that henceforth we try and time them so that, you know, they don't eat into other people's hand. Then the next important role player is the speaker. Now, this is Toastmaster Buhari. He has a speech of 7 minutes and he is already 9 minutes, 45 seconds, and he's saying, and finally, just one more last point. And after the point, he will still give conclusion and closing. So the speakers, you have to practice your speech. You have to practice your speech. As I said, most speakers talk roughly at around 150 words per minute. So when you're preparing your speech, you should make sure that you prepare only for, and another secret is if you have a speech of 7 minutes, prepare for 6 minutes, because when you have some body gestures, when you have some humor in your speech, you must give time for people to laugh and react to what you're saying. You can't just continue to speak while people are laughing, you're already on your speech. You have to give them 2, 3, 4 seconds to react to what you're saying so that you can continue. So when you're having a 7-minute speech, plan for 6 minutes. And that's 150 words for a minute. That is 4 minutes is 600 words. So you time it around 700 to 750 words. And one of the problems that we have mostly is that a lot of us now, a lot of Toastmasters that I've seen, they no longer write speech. I remember a time when there was Competent Communicator and the rest. There was a book like this. Some of their speeches have to be written inside that book and documented. But nowadays, we no longer feel the need. We just catch what is supposed to be our speech, and then we talk because we feel we're experts. But there is something about practice. We have to make sure that we practice everything that we're doing. And that is why rehearsal is very important. So as a speaker, we are counting on you to make sure that you speak according to your time. And the best way to do that is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. You time yourself on the phone and the rest. Now, another thing is for the educational planning, which I want to talk about, because a lot of the reasons why we overspend time is because we have to meet up with our educational requirement. And now, for the Toastmasters year, our goals is that we must have four different levels. And for each level, for example, in level 1, we need four awards for level 1. Level 2, we need 4 additional one. So we have them as they are here. So for every club, in order to meet your educational goal, you need a minimum of 40 speeches per year. 40 speeches, and they are as outlined above. So for every level, these are the number of speakers that you need. But it can you can change it according to the way you want it, but you need to make sure you get these goals. There was something that was introduced recently. I have not tested it. I don't know what it is. About, I think, online meeting mastery is also a goal or something like that. I saw it on the club dashboard as I was doing this, but I didn't take it out because I don't understand what is it, whether it's a pathway or something like that, but it's something that's introduced newly. So we need a minimum of 40 speeches to meet our educational goals. And we have 9 months because there are some months that will have club contests. So on those days, we're not going to have our normal speeches. So you have to make sure the president and the vice president education to make sure that you plan for these 40 speeches. Now, if we're having 2 meetings a month, that makes every month we're going to be having 4 speeches. So this is the way you're going to plan it. You have to make sure that you plan those meetings. You have to make sure that you plan those meetings like this. This is an example. Sorry, just a moment, please. Okay, sorry about the interruption. So this is like a sheet. I'm going to share an Excel sheet that I have. I'll still explain for the vice president educations to make sure that they plan their speeches. For every level, you have to be able to plan and make sure that for every month, in meeting 1, you have 4 speeches. In meeting 2, you have 4 meetings. So with this, you can plan for 9 months and have 3 extra months to do everything, or in case someone doesn't show up or something like that. Now, the holiday season I put is the maybe speech contest. I put 2 contest practice and everything. We also have another issue that is affecting us, and it prevents us mostly from achieving our goals. You will see that historically, the most difficult point to get is level 4 and level 5. One level 4, one level 5. That are the 2 things that you need. But sometimes we get burnout after level 2. You'll see some people staggering in level 3. So as a VP education, you need to make sure that you find 3 people, 4 or 3 people, you keep them on track, you force them to move, because level 4 and level 5 is the most difficult point to get. And it has been proven historically in most of the clubs. You see that level 1, we have a lot of people, level 2, we have a lot of people. But when we come to level 3, you know, there is a period of burnout and people are just taking up meeting roles because it's part of the requirement of some of the levels actually. So as a vice president education, you must make sure that you plan properly. You plan properly. Okay, so let me go back here. So what are the tips of staying on time? We said that timers, we must make sure that we rehearse. We know now we speak at a rate of 150 words per minute. There are AI apps that you can record your speech and you just send it and it'll tell you your word count. If you're typing it at the bottom end of Word document, you will see your word count. Then it's not only for timers now. We're going to every exco and every role player, I believe, and I hope that from this presentation, we must have a pact that we're going to arrive at the meeting venue 1 hour before time. Because one of the things that we have also noticed is that a lot of the role players are not around when the meeting is going to be started. So we must have a pact today, now, this moment, this time, that henceforth, any meeting we're having, the role players, especially SAA, Vice President Education, and the President, and all of the role players are on ground 1 hour before the meeting. We're no longer taking 30 minutes. I have seen meetings where we have come to the meeting and we're waiting for the Toastmaster of the day, online or physical. We have to stop that practice. If you know you have taken up a role, please and please, 1 hour before the time, or even if it's online, let's be there. Let's be there. During those times, honestly, 1 hour before the meeting, we're sending pictures to the group that the meeting venue is ready, and it will make people to come. Then also we need the Toastmaster of the day to, make sure that some of the activities, he takes time from it, he be a little bit fast, so that the end segment, one of the most important segment is the feedback. And sometimes we are rushing it. All right, thank you very much, sir. I'm almost done. I have removed my presentation. Okay, so any question? I didn't allow for questions because they told me that the questions would be, okay, yes, start dropping your questions. So now let me show you one sheet before I conclude. Let me try and share a sheet with you. The first thing you're supposed to do is, as a VP, there is a menu on our dashboard where you can go and download the educational progress of all of the speakers in a club. Now, for this one, we have a speaker calendar. You sit down from tomorrow, okay, this month we're going to start. Who is going to speak in what meeting? Then you send notifications to them that for August, you have been slated, you're going to speak this and that. So this is the scheduling and tracking sheet that we have. And we also have a member tracker where you copy the information from the Toastmasters dashboard and put it here, so that even peradventure you don't have access to your profile, you know exactly where someone is. So immediately someone speaks, you come here and you update it. And we did it in such a way that it will automatically update. We have a speech calendar here. Sorry, this. Okay, I'm trying to go, I don't know. So we have a dashboard also that will tell us the percentage of those who are, which particular level are you lagging behind based on the inputs that you have done there. Because tracking is very important for us so that you keep up with people that are supposed to speak, Toastmasters that are supposed to speak, and you also be sending them reminders that your speech are there. But for level ones, please, the mentors should be in the picture to make sure that the icebreaker speech, those that are going to undertake the icebreaker speech, they are prepared for it. So I'll be sending this. You can take it as a guide, but it's something that we have used before and it has assisted a lot. And you also have access to the levels on the dashboard. I think the president and the vice president have those access. So let me stop sharing my screen. So I think we're good to go. So thank you very much. Timing is a team effort. We must make sure that we follow the timer rules. Then, there is 30 minutes grace. We should not also play with that. Then we should know our agenda. And lastly, timing well is a courtesy to the speaker after you and every guest in the room. We should always keep this at the back of our mind. So thank you very much, everyone. And now we are We have finished
Thank
with the
you.
presentation. I don't know how the questions are going to be coming in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our facilitator. Thank you very much once again for taking us through this wonderful and amazing session. We really appreciate you. And personally, as a Vice President Education, I felt like this training is solely for me. And I have a lot of takeaways, and I'm very, very sure I will do better. Thank you very much. And I believe that goes to everyone that is present here. It's an amazing session. So swiftly, we are at the question and answer session. This is where we get to ask questions anywhere you need clarity, anywhere you need more explanation. Please, you can kindly put your hands up so you can be called upon, or you can easily drop it in the chat box so it saves us time. We are at this segment and we have less than 15 minutes for this segment. Please kindly keep your...
Someone asked about the manual. The program quality director has it. I would also, if you need the Excel sheet, I would share the Excel sheet with him so that he can share it to the VPs or anyone that is in need. But I've already shared the handbook with him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, I have a question. As Vice President Education, you made mention, you tackle a lot of things and informed us how to address it by being timely, ensuring that everything is on time, and we are on time at least 1 hour, not 30 minutes as we used to do it. You said 1 hour before meeting. In a case where one have prepared to be the Toastmaster of the day, and then he even confirmed to you that he is coming on that particular meeting day. Then an hour before the meeting, then your Toastmaster of the day is calling to tell you that he will not be in the meeting. Please, what would you say we do at that moment?
Okay, we always have those issues, and it comes a lot, honestly. We have seen it a lot, and that is where the phrase, a Toastmaster wears many hats. There are some people that, as a VP and a president, you're supposed to groom them, you understand? There are some people like we have that are automatic backup role players. Any role that you need fill, they can fill it. So those kind of people, you need to identify them and you need to carry them along so that we have, in some of the groups, I have seen that we have backup speakers. Most of the groups we have backup speakers, but we don't have backup TMODs. So we just pick the most experienced person in the room or someone that's readily available. But most of the TMODs that we pick on the spot are people that are experienced. But for clubs now, because of this timing issue that we're having, I believe it's pertinent that we have these backup role players that we prepare so that for any meeting we have, we say, okay, you are the backup role player for this, this, and this. So peradventure, the role player doesn't come, we just fit in and we move on. So thank you very much. We have Mohammed raising up his hand. You can turn on your mic and you can speak.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai, for this very educative. And honestly, I have personally learned a lot.
Thank you very much.
As alluded to in your presentation, that majorly the Toastmaster of the day is one of the critical role players who consumes. Sometimes the time consumption largely, is the Toastmaster of the day or the general evaluator.
Yes.
So what do we do in this instance? I am a club president when not necessarily as a club president. Who is to checkmate these two important role players and take it to the sense that they are the shakers and movers of the meetings? Thank you, sir.
Yes, I believe after this meeting, the issue maybe that we have with the Toastmaster of the day is that he is not timed on the first time that he comes to the stage. We have the timing at the 1 minute interval that we give for individual evaluations of speech, but we don't have the one for the beginning of the meeting. So I believe that it's not out of context that we introduce timing for them. They have 3 minutes, let's time them, because that is where the most of the time is taken. I have seen a Toastmaster of the day come with 2 foolscap sheets, 2. And he was reading it at every interval, he was reading it, and he was taking the time. Honestly, he spent over 8 minutes in the beginning of the meeting, and that is going into other people's time. So from today, I think with the permission of the PQD, the division director, please let's introduce timing for the Toastmaster of the day at the beginning, 3 minutes, so that we make sure that they don't surpass their time. Thank you very much. Buhari Abdulhamid Zayad, your hand is raised. You can turn on your mic and ask a question.
Buhari, please, you have 1 minute.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It has started now.
Sure. So my question goes like this. We have role players like the art counter or the timer coming up to give their reports. And after the speech, instead of me to come and say, DTM Bazalahi spent 5 minutes, 30 seconds, which is within the time, and I go straight to the next report. I loved that your speech. In fact, it reminded me of this and that. This also is something that used to bring hindrance to our reports. Or you see somebody placing a code, like Jimron will say, when evaluation is this, is that, before you start reading his report. Some of these things are also very special that they come into our meetings and upload over time. So what would you say about that, sir? Thank you.
Okay, so for those kind of things, that is left for the specific evaluator. I don't know why as a timer, it's left for specific evaluator and the general evaluator. But as the tag team, you do not have anything with that. So we must stick to our rules. We have scripts for each role player. And if you look into that script, there is no provision for that. Because they have timed that script very well. Just try and fill the script and read and see how many minutes you're going to consume reading that. So once you do it, you'll see that it's around 2 minutes, 15 seconds to 3. I've tried it. So just put the names of the people, the timing and everything, and read it on your own. You'll see that it's around 2 minutes, like 12 to 15 seconds. So please, you have no business with it. You have a guideline for the way you're going to report. We have our scripts. Let's just follow the script.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. We have another. I noticed a new requirement paired with level 2 in DCP Gold requirement checklist title, Online Meeting Mastery. That was what I was mentioning before. I don't know what it is. I just saw it. Was it yesterday?
Thank you very much, sir.
My day before yesterday, while I was trying to this. Okay, hello? Am I back? Someone is trying to call. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. I think we can continue the question and answer segment in our WhatsApp group chat. We are exceeding our time for this segment.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DTM, Double DTM Bazalai, for this wonderful session. And the first of its kind, the first Division G educational series. Now, this is to all our members that are here. Club leaders, please inform your club members that this series is just starting and it will continue till how it goes. The mandate or the goal is to ensure that we have quality meetings. And we are going to ensure that. I believe with the key takeaways we have in these sessions, in this session, we are going to improve and do better. We are starting one step at a time to ensure that the quality of our meeting are improved. Thank you very much. As we come to the end of this session, I would like to appreciate some of our leaders that joined. I can see our Club Growth Director. I can see some of the leaders, distinguished Toastmasters and leaders that are here present. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for coming and joining us. I will call on our division director to address us for just 2 minutes. Distinguished Toastmaster Mansoor Sadiq, the virtual lectern is yours. Is my leader, Distinguished Toastmaster Sadiq Mansoor here? I saw him earlier. Okay. Maybe he's not here.
No, I'm
I
here.
will
Can
now
you hear
call
me?
on. Oh,
Can
thank
you
you
hear
very
me?
much. So you have 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, I was actually here to enjoy myself, but now that you've at least put me on the spot, no problem. Thank you, the Program Quality Director, for putting up this fantastic educational series, the first of its kind in this mandate. So I want to thank you for putting this together with your team. And I would also like to thank the facilitator, the double distinguished Toastmaster, Bazalai. I have been on the call, I think, since the beginning of the session. So a lot has been said. I will charge our members that please let us put all this into practice, because the essence of training like this is to apply them. So we want to see a situation where members, where our clubs improve in terms of quality, particularly in terms of time management. So I believe that the PQD is going to still talk to us. I know we had a discussion on where we have what we call club ambassadors. So what you've learned today, we believe that the club ambassadors will be able to tell us if we have actually put them into practice. And it is our hope and our belief that you are all going to put this into practice. Once again, thank you very much, the moderator, the PQD, and every other team members that put this into place, and particularly our trainer, Distinguished Toastmaster Bazalai. Back to you, the moderator, Toastmaster Jubre. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our division director. Thank you very much for that remark. You highlighted that training is essential, but what is more important is the application of that training. It is not just for us to attend a particular training, it is for us to apply what we have learned. Just like our trainer have highlighted, time management is not just the responsibility of the Vice President Education or the club leaders. It is the collective responsibility of every member, and that is what we show our guests, and that is what would invite people to our club. So I expect us, or it is important for us all as we leave this particular training, to be good timekeepers and good ambassadors, not only of Toastmasters, but to ourselves. It is at this point that I would like to appreciate each and every one of us for attending and enjoying this session. I will now call on my leader, Distinguished Toastmaster Zayat, to give us a closing remark, and then we end on time. My chair.
Thank you so much, our
The floor is
moderator.
yours.
Thank you so much, our moderator. Please, I'm not seeing round of applause flying on the screen. Our moderator has done very well today, and let's appreciate him, please. Let's appreciate him. I see lots of applause now. Yes, thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, like we promised earlier that it was going to be a very interactive and interesting session. I want to reiterate what our division director said about applying these principles and skills. Trainings like this, you get to pay before you get them. But that is one of the benefits of Toastmasters that we sell to ourselves and also guests that join us. Time management is very key and critical in all our events. Toastmasters meeting, Toastmasters contest, Toastmasters, wherever we find ourselves, let's try as much as possible time to stick to agenda. This is the first education series that we are bringing to you, Division G from the Program Quality Directorate Office. And we are going to also continue with this educational series. All the lapses points that we feel we need to learn more on, we're going to be inviting different Toastmasters to give us masterclass lessons on them so that we become better. And when we become better, it will have a multiplier effect in our community. The ranges of speakers we'll be bringing will range from, of course, the Toastmasters and leaders that we know from across the community, and even those that are outside our district. We'll try as much as possible to bring the best to you. And all we need from you is that participation and commitment. Always be here on time with your notes, and of course, with a sip of tea while you enjoy the nuggets that you'll be getting. On behalf of the entire team, my boss, distinguished Toastmaster Salim, the members who have worked tirelessly to see that this event happens today seamlessly, I say thank you, everyone, and see you in our next educational series. As we wrap it up on time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be giving the 4 minutes free to our members for networking. Bye for now, and good night.
Buhari, it appears that strangers are not welcome in your group, right? Some of us stole into this meeting. We stole into the meeting.
My leader, you have been noticed, my leader. We have acknowledged the presence of the elder statesman.
No, there are some of us. There are some of us who are online. You have not recognized those of us who are online. The AI online.